Hi, my name is Alyssa Gonzales, and I'm a senior at San Diego State University studying computer science. Today, I'll be talking about artificial intelligence and how it can be utilized to combat climate change. Here's an overview of the topics of discussion for today. I'll first be going into what artificial intelligence is, some of the use cases and algorithms behind it. Then I will talk about climate change and some of the issues surrounding it. Next, I'll be discussing how artificial intelligence can be used to solve some of these climate change problems. And lastly, I'll wrap up the discussion by talking about what has been accomplished and what there's left to be done. To start off, I'll be giving a technical overview and list of current applications of AI. Artificial intelligence is any human-like intelligence exhibited by a computer, robot, or any other machine. Essentially, it has the capability to understand language, make decisions, and problem solve. Within artificial intelligence, there are two different types of models: machine learning and deep learning. Machine learning uses algorithms to parse data, learn from that data, and make informed decisions based on what it has learned. Deep learning structure algorithms in layers to create an artificial neural network that can learn and make intelligent decisions on its own without the use of human intervention. There are many different types of AI algorithms used. The three main types are classification algorithms, regression algorithms, and clustering algorithms. The classification algorithm is useful for predicting whether an input belongs to a class or not. Common use case of this is spam detection, where emails are analyzed to see how well they fit the characteristics of what a spam email consists of. The regression algorithm can predict the output values based on input data points fed into the learning system. Common use case of this would be weather tracking. Weather tracking algorithms use data from many scientific sources to then predict upcoming weather patterns. And lastly, clustering algorithms. This is the process of segregating and organizing data points into groups based on similarities within members of the group. Common use case of this is a recommendation system. Netflix is a very popular application of this recommendation system, as once you finish a show, it generates a list of recommendations that closely align to what you had just watched. Here are a couple different examples of real-world applications of artificial intelligence. The first application that we see often is speech recognition. We see this on our mobile devices with speech-to-text functionality. We also see this with closed captioning functionality on popular platforms such as Zoom. Another example is natural language processing. This can be found in Apple Siri or Amazon's Alexa. What this does essentially is take in a user input like speech or text, then it analyzes this input and produces a logical response back. Not only does this model house decision-making capabilities, but it also has the ability to learn your habits. Next is image recognition, which is most commonly noticed in Apple's Face ID. This artificial intelligence application has the ability to take in an image and process whether that image is acceptable or not. Like I mentioned in the previous slide, virus and spam prevention is a really popular application used for artificial intelligence. We also see it being used in rideshare services like Uber or Lyft. These applications use AI models to match drivers with their riders, but also use it for route optimization. And lastly, autopilot technology used in vehicles like Tesla. These types of application use artificial intelligence for object detection, collision avoidance, or common characteristics of self-driving that are needed. Now that I've discussed an overview of what artificial intelligence is, I will now be discussing what climate change is, what problems are still left unsolved. Climate change can simply be defined as a negative impact of the Earth's climate, atmosphere, environment, or ecosystem. Some major problems we are currently facing are rising temperatures, intensified natural disasters, ocean level rising, and aggressive seasonal weather patterns. A good question to ask is what is causing these devastating effects? Greenhouse gases such as nitrous oxide, water vapor, carbon dioxide, and methane. About 90% of the Earth's heat is absorbed by these greenhouse gases, then radiated back towards the surface. This is what's causing the Earth's atmosphere to increase in temperature. On Earth, human activities are drastically changing the natural greenhouse levels with activities such as the burning of fossil fuels, bad agricultural practices, deforestation, and many other industry and human activities. Now that I've given a background of what artificial intelligence is and what problems of climate change we are currently facing, I'll now discuss how artificial intelligence can be used to combat climate change. Scientists see many opportunities to use artificial intelligence in the field of climate change. The three main use cases are for monitoring the environment, renewable energy consumption, and efficient transportation. Monitoring the environment gives scientists a better understanding of how we're doing and what problems are rising. This can be solved by developing better climate predictions, better tools to understand carbon footprint, and more safer, more effective agricultural practices. Renewable energy is something that scientists are deeply invested in as it will help improve our environment and atmosphere. Ways artificial intelligence can improve this problem is by developing tools to improve energy efficiency, optimize renewable energy development, and reduce energy waste. And lastly, an area where artificial intelligence can be utilized is within the transportation and trade industry. Artificial intelligence can be used to optimize freight travel, but also rideshare, which will help decrease the use of fossil fuels around the world in different applications. To wrap up this discussion, I will now be talking about the state of AI today and what is currently at stake. So where we are currently at with artificial intelligence, currently use cases are growing immensely as data inputs continue to increase. In our world today, our data is being collected in almost every aspect of our daily lives. Although this sounds scary, artificial intelligence models thrive off this input data, and ultimately, it'll allow AI models to mature with more accuracy. Because the use cases are rising so immensely, international data corporations forecast spending on AI systems will reach $78 billion by 2022. Although there are many benefits to using artificial intelligence to help our daily lives and our ecosystem, there are many trade-offs and concerns that come along with the use of AI. Specifically, 6 different trade-offs: performance, security, control risks, economic risks, social risks, and ethical risks. And these are identified by the World Economic Forum report. Performance. The black box conclusion of AI may not be understood to humans, and thus it may be impossible to determine if they are accurate or desirable. Deep learning could be risky for applications such as early warning systems for natural disasters, where more certainty is necessarily needed. Security. AI has the potential to be hacked, enabling bad actors to interfere with energy, transportation, early warning detection, or any other crucial systems throughout the world. Control risks. Since AI systems interact autonomously, they can produce unpredictable outcomes. For example, 2 systems came up with a language of their own that humans cannot understand. Economic risks. Companies that are so hard to adopt AI may suffer economic consequences as their AI-based competition advances. We are already seeing how this brick and mortar stores are closing as the economy becomes increasingly digitized. Social risks. AI is resulting in much more automation, which will eliminate jobs in almost every field. And this can also hasten and exaggerate global conflicts, as AI could be used to, in military aspects. Ethical risks. Since AI uses inferred assumption about groups and communities and it makes decisions, it could lead to an increase of bias. Also, the collection of data raises many privacy issues. Although there are many raised questions and issues about the potential risk of artificial intelligence, it's important that governments and industries ensure the safety, explainability, transparency, and validity of the particular AI application use. Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me at argonzales2@sdsu.edu. Thanks.